gameplay on Nintendo Switch. There's a full demo out right now in the Japanese eShop with some full English translations. So they actually put up a demo previously that had a 10-minute timer and a kind of like a test trial demo. But this one actually has like 2 full dungeons, and I believe the whole city and a whole bunch of characters available that weren't available in the first demo. So we're definitely gonna give it a shot. I'm actually in the first dungeon already, and basically got into a random match with some worms. The interesting part about this game is that it's kind of a mixture of Etrian Odyssey and Darkest Dungeon, where the visuals are definitely Darkest Dungeon and the gameplay feels very familiar, but it has that Etrian Odyssey kind of combat and grid-based feel to it, where it certainly in the dungeon side of it, like in the dungeon crawling part of it, certainly feels very Etrian Odyssey. So this character right here that I have available right now is like a mage. They have a certain amount of moves available to them. Every character comes with 5 available moves when you pick them up in the shop. So if you think of Darkest Dungeon in the setup in the city, it's pretty much the same thing, where all of these characters were readily available to me as I went to hire people to start my quest with. And you're basically given like 5 random generated characters. Whether they're different classes or not, I don't know. But basically, that's kind of how the game tackles giving you characters to play with. They're all randomly generated, and they'll give you they'll all, because they're class based, they'll have their own set of abilities only available to them. Other classes cannot have those abilities. So for example, this character is about, if you see on the bottom left, you have your turn-based system. So you have your priest, and the priest has like your first attack readily available, that's called punishment. That's always going to be like your melee attack, but then you have like a stun. For example, that sweet foe one, that would be a stun, a long range stun. Then you have like 2 type of heals, a party heal and a normal heal. And then you have some sort of like shield that prevents other characters, for example, taking extra damage. So, she'll toss a shield on them and they'll be able to, protect themselves for the next round. Because every character is kind of randomly based with their skills and stats, you might end up having to kind of do a couple of runs in each dungeon a couple of times to be able to have a couple of good ones, because you might just end up really getting some bad ones right out of the gate. And that's kind of like the randomness of it, that there's no guarantee. So for example, I've seen rogues that have this ability called like backstab, so you can go hide, protect yourself. If I do like hide right now, she'll go like into stealth mode so the enemies can't attack her. But then the next turn, she'll have like a backstab ability where it could do like 300% more damage. But this rogue specifically that I have right now doesn't have that ability. So because it's also random, it's really up to what the game wants to give you, and that's a little bit of a drawback on my personal take. That's definitely a drawback when it comes to characters just kind of always being on the equal footing, where you're kind of hoping to have a set group of abilities. Like thankfully, like for example, this priest has a normal heal and a group heal, but sometimes you're not guaranteed to have that because it's so random. But early on, the game is kind of easy, so it's not punishing. But because it's like a Darkest Dungeon light, the further you get along, you'll end up finding really tough battles that you're kind of wishing like, hey, okay, so there's this like her turn again, and she doesn't have like a backstab. I did hide, I did a secret action. So secret action like makes sure like boost you of hide, protects you from the enemy, but there's no backstab. So, you know, like those two setup abilities she already has, but she doesn't have the attacking ability that she would actually need to be able to, you know, attack the enemy and be able to do like massive damage. So, you know, you're kind of left with whatever else they have available. In the overworld, once you get out of the, you know, darkest dungeon type battles, it looks into Etrian Odyssey, whereas very like you have on the top right, so you have food. That's basically your stamina. If your stamina goes down to 0, you die. Pretty simple stuff. And then you have luminosity, which is basically those little orbs, like little flowers, where if that runs out, you can't see where you're going, so you're kind of stuck, hoping and praying you end up finding something to give you more luminosity. And you're always gonna get ganked by random mobs everywhere you go. So it kind of becomes really more punishing if you don't have stamina, if you don't have you know, luminosity and stuff like that. Yeah, but that's kind of like a given. Every in the outer world, in the overworld, you have like these chests and you have keys that you find. So for example, in the original demo, and I still believe that demo is available on the North American eShop. In that demo, you were given 10 minutes to find 3 keys, a wooden key, a silver key, and a golden key. And basically, in those 10 minutes, you had to find those 3 keys and then open the chest and, you know, basically make it out alive if you could. It was really hard to do. So then they released this demo again, a different demo, where it's kind of like, hey, now you have the starting city, you have 2 dungeons you can go through, like the actual game, and try to figure it out. But because battles kind of take so long, even on like, you know, the early dungeons, it becomes like, it depends how much time you want to invest to actually see how much of the content is actually there. And there's no guarantee also that your save transfers over to the full game. They haven't said anything about that, the developers, so I'm kind of hoping that it does, but we don't know. The game does release, I believe, next month on the 10th, October 10th, but they haven't said anything about your saves from this demo specifically carrying over. So if you've actually been looking at the gameplay, it's just basically been really stuff. The enemies, they kind of do hard damage, not so much. But the thing is that I've noticed that depending on what the enemies are, they'll give you a lot of debuffs. So I haven't fought any of those enemies yet, thankfully enough, but there are enemies that will just non-stop. So like that one gave me food, and if you hold on the outer world, on the dungeon right now where I'm at right now, if you hold ZL and you look on the bottom right, the menus change, and on the bottom right you basically have like the option to just automatically eat. So you eat and then you can use luminosity and you get more luminosity, but I have like an enemy right next to me, so the second that I make a move, they're gonna attack me. So it kind of like always keeps you on your toes to keep paying attention to it. And another thing that happens while you're in the overworld walking around is that if you see your cat, like on the bottom left, you see the mage. She has like a red bar that's obviously the health, and the bottom blue bar right next to it has like a 112 and a 15. The 15 is actually her mana. So the mana will trickle up slowly as you take steps on the overworld. But because I keep getting ganked by the enemies, I don't have a chance to keep getting mana. But there's another cool thing about the fact that if you protect or go into like defense mode, you're always going to be able to get some mana back in any specific turn. So for example, my priest has like very little mana, but if I use a block, I press B, she should be able to regain like 20 mana on that game turn. So, a Hello, Super Gohan. I'm actually able to see chat for once. I usually never. So yeah, you have your 5 basic classes, like your paladin, your thief up top, a warlock type, which is like a debuffer on the bottom, your priest on the back, and then the witch, which is your mage, typical mage on the back row. Usually early on when you have a lot of enemies with you, you kind of want to have your tank take all the hits. Obviously, that's pretty common sense stuff. And just kind of focus one of the enemies down. Because again, this is pretty basic stuff, but you know, it's obvious to a lot of people who play these type of games, but not to everyone. You want to take one enemy down as fast as possible, whittle down their numbers, and then focus on the rest. And because, like in that turn specifically, because the mage has no mana, I wasn't able to use any of her abilities, so they were all crossed out, and automatically I had to use just the default attack. Actually, this move for the priest, Sweet Foe, it's really good because it always stuns any enemy that it hits. So whenever they're stunned, that was actually their turn, so right away went away. But had I not stunned that enemy, they would have been able to attack me. So actually, a stun is actually pretty good to have. And I've seen a couple of runs where I've had characters that have like 2 or 3 characters that have stuns back to back. So you know, it's really good to have several characters that have stuns available to them kind of early on. But again, because the abilities are randomly given to each character, and in this specific run I don't have a really good set of characters. I don't think I do. Then you're just kind of rolling with whatever they give you. You can move your character's front. So for example, right now I have my priest in front of the tank, and that's not helpful. So you definitely want to move your tank forward, but moving any of the characters in any given position will use up your turn, so they don't get to attack or anything like that. And because my mage has no mana also in the back, I might as well just block and let her gain some mana back for her next attack. The problem is that I have almost... That's another thing right there that just happened, where the enemy will attack you sometimes, and you have your... How would I say that? The position swap based on whatever the given debuff of the attack from the enemy. So sometimes you're just, you know, because it's on the whim of the enemy, whatever the attack is, they're able to actually swap out your position. So I've seen in certain runs where they'll send your tank, like depending on the attack that they do, they'll send your tank all the way to the back, and they'll put all your casters up front. And because in most of these type of games, whenever you have a front line and a back line, the front line will always take more damage, which is why you always want to have your tanks up front. But they'll put the casters they'll swap your casters and your your like heavy, let's say melee attackers. They'll swap them out, and then one of the enemies will automatically gank your casters and just basically take one of your characters out right away. And depending on the type of run that you're doing, it kind of might be going permanently or just temporarily. So it can suck real bad if you kind of like get an enemy that just targets one specific character in your group. It can get pretty bad. I am hoping to, again, because that's actually one of my complaints about this game, that it feels like battles take too long. Like I've been like, in this battle specifically, because there were 4 enemies, I feel like I've been going at it for a couple of minutes, and it's just, if you get 3 enemies surrounding you in the overworld and they like automatically surround you, and then you get into 3 straight battles back to back or 2 battles back to back, and they're all kind of grueling where they're just whittling you down little by little. It just becomes one of those things where it just feels like it drags on more than it should. And I don't know if that's like by design from the developers or if it's just like an oversight or what. But like those 2 battles right now that I just had back to back, they felt grueling. Like they felt like, you know, they took more than they should have. Okay, so as you see, every time I take a step, stats go up. So you have a 3 on the health, a 1 on the mana, and they're slowly trickling back up. But it's that thing of like, you know, if you find enemies or they find you, you know, you're kind of automatically right back dragged into another fight that you might have not wanted to, you know, get in, but you don't have much of a choice. I don't know what the hell that is. Well, we're about to find out. Oh, it's just another enemy that just didn't chase me. Okay, interesting. That's interesting. I've never actually met an enemy that didn't want to attack me right away. Yeah, rogues usually have a really good set of abilities. This specific rogue that I have with me in this run, she's not very good. She should be able to have backstab. I've noticed that backstab is probably the go-to ability you want to have. And because she doesn't have it, her damage is very limited because of it. Rogues, for my money, they're like the strongest character that I've seen. But because she doesn't have the ability that I need her to, I should start healing people. Recover party, 1 column, all of your party members, 80%. I should focus on. So there's a drawback if you do like AoE, let's say heal. If you do AoE heal, it does less heal, obviously, but it heals everybody. But if you do like a row heal, so like for example the front row, middle row, back row, it does more. It heals for more, but it's you know, very limited. So it's situational. You don't always want to use it. Not all your characters are always going to be in the same run. I mean, there's no guarantee for that to actually happen. At the very least, I haven't come across any enemies that I feel are too punishing. These like grubs and the zombies are kind of just pretty basic. There are, like I said, like I mentioned earlier, some that would just love to stack debuffs on you and bleed. So you constantly bleed every turn. So every time you're losing health, and then they do some sort of like slowdown, so they'll attack faster and faster each turn, and it just kind of snowballs into just one long fight that you're constantly losing health from the attack that they do and the bleed effect that they stack upon you. It's game over basically. But I haven't met them yet, at least in this one. So. My priest has no mana, so I need to start blocking and try to get some sort of mana back. Bleed effects, as you saw just now, I just took 2 steps, and Tana, the second character, had a bleed effect. I took 2 steps and it went away. So, you know, bleed effects stack for however long they stack, 15, 10, whatever, like it could go pretty high. But then when you get to the overworld and you start making steps, those amount of steps will remove the bleed effect, and then you can start regaining health again. And then there's these weird green puddles that basically they just like eat your luminosity away. So you don't wanna like mess with that. There's a key right here. Wooden chest key. Another key over there, but there's 2 puddles. And I had to do it. Another key and another puddle. You take 40 damage. Puddles are not good. You just don't want to mess with them. Alright, so I'm gonna luminosity twice. Give myself some more light and some food. And try to make... There's a map, right? Yeah, okay. That's a really basic looking map. But it actually tells me all I need to know. There's some chest on the bottom. And if I go to the right, there should be a chest right there. So... Oh, she's confused? Is that why she went that way? What the hell was that? I was going right and she went right. Never seen that before. So he guarded but still had stun. At least I'm getting some mana back because I was able to walk around in the overworld a little bit. Hit 2 enemies. That was a 2 enemy attack. Okay, so the priest and the tank have stuns. Now, this warlock has, instead of mana, has this like little souls or whatever. Kind of like the samurai. I don't know how to get them. Like, I don't know how you get more or less, that kind of stuff. Like, I have no idea. I'm sure there's some sort of tutorial that explains that, but I haven't looked at it, so. Yeah, again, that was a good example of another good stun where if you stun enemies, comes their turn, they can't do anything. So it's super helpful to just have at least a couple of characters that have stuns available to them, so they don't take, so you don't take that unnecessary damage. Block with her, get some more mana, because we're down to 2 enemies. So basic attack should be able to take them down. Okay, so I used the basic attack and she gained 4 little ghosts. Okay. Again, I still don't know how many are used per turn or how many are used per ability. I know when I read the basic like explanation, it wasn't very clear. So. that gave me some luminosity. Okay. Cool. I'm getting some back. That chest up there, though, I'm not sure I can get to it. Oh, I can. I'm gonna have to step through a bunch of puddles to be able. And there's the exit too, so right next to the exit. And I don't have the key? Are you kidding me? Oh no, I don't have the key. Okay, so hunger is struck and I need to eat. And I don't have any more food. Oh boy. Okay, now my mage is poisoned, I think. I'm bleeding. This is frustrating because I don't know. Like on the bottom is where I started. But I don't know if I need to open all the chests. It says explore 80%. 100 or 80 or whatever. But okay, I did that already. So it wants me to. Yeah, now I'm just bleeding. Every step I'm losing health. Like I found luminosity stuff, but so this should be the exit. Somebody was killed. Oh boy. Okay. That was painful towards the end. You run out of food, you run out of stamina, and then you run out of luminosity, and you're kind of boned. So yeah, 51 minutes in that dungeon, but I felt like 40 of those minutes were actually spent battling, and it just kind of feels like a drawback to just go into battles because they take so long. Okay, so they leveled up. Right, I also got some items, but I couldn't figure out how to equip them. So. Stairs-looking clock, Doomsday clock. It visualizes the time remaining until the end of the world. What is this, Persona 3? More monsters you defeat. The light monsters you illuminate the treasure chest and debris if you open a dungeon. The more time you can save for the adventure. In addition, activities in the town, expeditions, and battles affect the movement of the Doomsday clock. If you fail to do your best throughout the journey, the Doomsday clock will move faster. Explore now, nook and cranny in the dungeon as efficiently as possible. Never give up. Okay, that told me nothing. But it does say that there's some sort of arbitrary timer to be able to beat the game before the doomsday clock hits 0, I suppose. Okay. So, that expedition, offense. They gave me a quest. Report. Yeah, this is like very Darkest Dungeon when it comes to this. Like the whole city layout feels very similar in that sense. Kind of like the gameplay loop is very similar to Darkest Dungeon. Go into town, recruit some people, you know, maybe they have stamina or not, you know. Put your best group together, go out and forage. You know, go into a dungeon, go do whatever you gotta do. Very similar, you know, gameplay. Magic fog, evaluate equipment from no request. Get rid of the bugs. The forest mess. Isn't that what happens? So they gave me 2 quests.
その中でもまだ育っていない小さな花が時々見られますが、花の今は新たな依頼。皆さん、ようこそお越しくださいました。
Okay. So I have 2 ancient forest and whatever. Okay. Defeat the swamp worms, beetles. Collect flower roots from young light flowers.
皆さん、ようこそお越しくださいました。
Support lab. This is new. Maximum level luminosity. Okay. Cap it from 400.
ようでしょうか。
480. Okay, yeah. So that costs money? Request.
リクエストはこれで大丈夫でしょうか。
Yeah, this is like permanent boost to your support lab is basically the permanent boost to the city. Stamina, luminosity, lightness, number of characters. 6 characters per party, I suppose. Expand expedition corps recruitment 5 to 6. And they could be like, you know, level 4. Expand storage. Expedition bag. Experience after winning battles, gold after winning a battle. Yeah, these are like permanent buffs you want to have.
何かご用でしょうか。
Settings, special qualities, nation.
どうも。いらっしゃい。
So this is like equipment stuff.
これを鑑定すればいいんだよね。こんなもんかな。
Does that mean it makes it better?
どうも。いらっしゃい。
Disassemble, fuse. I'm guessing you can mix things together, craft them down from materials or
どうも。
whatever, which ones you get in the dungeon, you can try to make them better. Where was the not this. Which one was it? The shop? No. Storage is where you leave your stuff, I assume. Yeah, all the stuff you're getting on the quest. Support lab. Where the hell is it? Ah, okay. Recruit. See, recruit. Yeah, so it has like the characters you want to recruit. Like we don't have one of these guys, for example. Half human, half goblin who keeps. Parents are a human, princess and hobgoblin, knows the secrets of nature, uses the art of Omniota? Had a vision about the end of their homeland and tried to prevent it but failed. Details. New shot, that's a normal attack. Removes Mobilization, stun, and sleep. Inflict damage equals to 40% of your attack. Enemies in one column. Continuous damage 40% of your attack. For how many? Just one turn. Paper turtle. Summon one paper turtle at a random location. Oh, they have pets. Interesting. Inflict damage equal to 40%. Again, one row. It's causing stun. Okay. I wonder. Inflict instance kill. Get point numbers best and most. I wonder if.
こいつを雇うのか。雇ってやる。
Now, because we don't have one of those.
ここが調査本部だ。何か用か。ここが調査本部だ。何か用か。
お前らよく依頼を受けたやつが最近新入りの。最近霧のこのよう
I'm
に
guessing training is whenever you're gonna leave one in the city because you can only take so many with you. Oh, learn new skills. Okay. They don't level up but learn new skills.
よく来たな。訓練が必要か？ジンクスを持ってる調査隊員がよく来たな。訓練が必要か？新しいスキルを学ぶならスキルを教えてくれる調査隊員が必要だ。
You need someone who already has that ability unlocked. Wow. So you can't just buy your way into getting more skills. You have to earn them and then teach them to somebody else.
訓練が必要か？
That's interesting. How do you equip?
預けるものがあれば言ってみな。
どうもいらっしゃい。
ここが調査本部だ。何か用か。
That's weird. They don't come with armor or like anything. It's really weird. Okay, so we had a character die, right? Which one was it? I forget. I forgot who died. Oh, the mage. She's the one that died. That's why my party only has 5 now, because we lost someone.
ここが調査本部。
Yeah, so they're perma gone, I suppose. That sucks. I wonder if you available items, forest and stunning, forest Kurosaki. Co-op skills. Yeah, okay, so you can team up 2 characters and do like change formation. Let's add him there. He certainly doesn't look like he wants to be there, but I took 3 last time and I'm not sure it did much. Hopefully this time this dungeon won't take
神のご加
15
護が
minutes
必
to
要
get
だ
through
ね
it. Three young. Okay, what? Map. Okay. So we want defeat 5 rotten beetles, swamp worms, and flowers. That's actually what I'm looking for. Young flowers. Okay, so that's what they look like. Cool. There's the second one. There's a journal. Actually just realized I had no volume on my TV, so okay. So so you actually get to see the team up attack if you have one of those characters. But of course I don't have one. So it's basic attack, remove stun, sleep, okay. Paper crow. Paper crow, full damage. So let's do it. Wow, that was ridiculous. Ah, she can duel with her. And she could stun with her. I'm guessing they're random, the dual attacks. Because nothing specifically said like they should have a correlation between one character and another. It seems it has just been random. This is another thing that I actually found out in another run. You have like a situation like here where I can move sideways, but I can't move forward. And if the enemy doesn't move to me, because I've seen like some toadstool looking thing, they won't move. They'll just stay there, like in their position. So they will not move forward no matter what. And you're kind of just stuck waiting till certain characters who have, long range attacks can actually make their turn. They can take their turn. Like basically my priest is the only one right now who could like
ものには容赦
damage her
はしません
guaranteed. Damage that grub guaranteed. Everybody else is just waiting.
深い 何か落ちてるよ こう見えても昔は優秀な戦士だったんだよこう見えても昔は優秀な戦士だったんだよ
They're running away from me. Oh my god, that's hilarious.
やつを見て戦う意志がないのかな やつを見て戦う意志がないのかな
She called them out. They don't have the will to fight.
あの
It's funny that they're running from me. That must be a quest thing.
ベルトした夢
I've never seen them run
楽し
before.
みましょう
陰陽道をご覧あれ。現れたまえ。
パラルの力を見せてやるよくださ風のように動くこの時のため邪魔する者には容赦はしません風のように動くわからないあの方の恵みをベトベトした夢楽しみましょうパラルの力を見せてやるよああ邪魔する者には容赦はしません
現れたまえ。
He's really weak. I'm guessing he's one of those characters that hold on. Bag. Can you not equip items inside a dungeon? Wow. Increases maximum expedition corpse size too. Yeah, they're like, oh, they want you to get 5 of those or whatever. But I can't equip either of these. That is lame, is the word. Wealth. that's confused. That happened last time.
気をつけて移動しよう。任務コード1000
Someone got confused
風のように動く。
and I wasn't able to.
この時のため
陰陽道をご覧あれ。現れたまえ。
パラディンの力を見せてやるよ。
He was able to stun 2 enemies.
あの方の恵みを。デカデカした夢楽しみ
So
で
they're
す。
all 3 stunned. He's actually really good with stunning.
する者には容赦はしません。
Yeah, like this run has not been dangerous in any stretch of the imagination, but there's no, like they're running away from me. It's still forcing you to grind and take those 5 enemies, 5 different battles. It's not about the number of enemies you have versus in any given actual battle, but the amount of battles you actually take. So that's a weird
容赦
discrepancy.
はしません。
陰陽道をご覧。
This is actually another thing I kind of wished
現れたまえ。
going through turns would be faster, like a way to speed it up.
動く。
Like again, I have to block, so they just go through the animation. It takes a while.
あの方の恵みを。
Get to it, man.
パラディンの力を見せてやるよ。
Again, these grubs will not move. So I just have to keep
者には
hopefully attacking with one enemy that can reach me. It's frustrating.
陰陽道をご覧あれ。現れたまえ。
Oh, wait, that's his pet?
風のように動
Oh,
く。
cool. Kind of came out in the point of this battle, but I guess it can have his pet attack. Oh, the grub attacked the pet. Cool. Okay, so he does have like his uses. Accessory. I have no stamina food anymore. But I have defeated 5 beetles and worms, 3 young flowers obtained. I have to find the exit, which is on the upper left. Right here. Oh, that was easy. It's interesting that they don't let you equip whatever you get inside the dungeon. You gotta come back out and then go back in. This arbitrary clock keeps ticking, and it's like it doesn't tell me anything. Okay. It's just menacing. But that's it. Okay. So office
ようこそお
report.
越しくださいました。引き受けた依頼をお帰りなさい。依頼をお願い。それにお疲れ様。
That's right. I forgot that I called my party G unit.
まだ条件を達成。
Okay, now I gotta go to dense
皆さ
forest.
ん、ようこそお越しくださいました。
Defeat the following. Collect drops. Time people disappear. Days missed.
この依頼を受け、
Sure.
この依頼です。最近アルタはしかし霧の調査だ。皆さん、ようこそお越しくださいました。
Straggler hunting grounds. Is that a dungeon?
皆さん、ようこそお越しくださいました。ようこそ。 それがですね、霧がひどい夜、それでこっそりと落ち、私一人じゃどうにもならない。そのフードの形は、いつ何かご用でしょうか。
Alright, okay. So I picked up what, a wellness one? Wealth? Yeah, wealth. So, but it was only one, and it said, now it says 3 out of 5. So I'm guessing they say anything from 1 to 3. And the manpower one. I only picked up one of those, but it says I have 2. So you find these journals or whatever for, you know, upping your permanent stats in the city. So you get more stamina, luminosity, recruit more people, have more people in your party, have more items, put more stuff in storage, experience, gold, all of that kind of stuff. That's a support now.
君たちがステラに話を聞い
And this is the armor stuff, man. You find armor in the dungeons, and then you can have it appraised. It tells you like, oh, this is good, this is bad, or whatever. If it sucks, I'm guessing like end game stuff, you start disenchanting or merging it together to create new armors. It's just a lot of talking just to get to the point. Yeah, like I have both of these right here. So it's just gonna merge them into one. And it has a +1 hit. Okay. Right, training is when you send your characters to learn new abilities, but in order for them to learn new abilities, you need to have a character that's already learned that ability to teach that ability to someone else. Recruit new classes. You can't get rid of yeah, there's no like dismiss, so then they go away and then you get more. Oh, that's bad. Because I have a feeling some of these were here last time when I was in town. Only this one was new. The other 4 were there already. That's weird. Well, let's recruit a mage. Just so we kind of always want to have a lot of those. Like the good. What was the last thing that I need to do? Equip? Normal accessories, number, fusion 03. Oh, I guess you can merge it up to 3 times? Is that what that means? Yeah, like fusion 1. So you can merge it up to 3 times. Any given item. 1 defense minus 2 speed. So you kind of want to give that to the tank. Does she not have armor? Nope. It's so bizarre to me that they don't have like default armor. You have to just get lucky and find gear for them. So weird. Manage skills. Okay. Can I power them up? She's level 2. SB1. Doesn't say anything about unlocking. I can remove or add. So bizarre. So they can only learn them by other characters. So I guess it would be like I buy another tank. That tank has an ability that I want this tank to learn. So I take them to the training ground, and then that other tank teaches this tank that ability. That's kind of backwards. I mean, I'm sure there's other games that have done that, but it's so bizarre. And then I guess you would get rid of the random RNG tank. Because it's like, why would you want to keep them around? It's like, Dance Forest. Is that where I was? I think so. Where am I? Wait, what's the quest that I need?
皆さん、ようこそお越しくださいました。
Straggler hunting grounds and dense forest. Okay, so I actually have to go to both. Should be enough. You always want to have luminosity, food. Always want to have stamina. Defeat the followers and acquire 3 belongings of the town people. Followers. I'm guessing that's a boss. Yeah, those journals that you want to permanently boost your city. Armor. Okay. That's 3. 3 enemies are gonna attack me back to back.
遊んであげますわ。全部よ。パラディンの力を見せてやるよ。
I'm gonna have that other guy pop the turtle to provoke.
こんなものが値に当たると思ったか？
Because the turtle will take the damage instead of the tank, so.
ベトベトした夢、楽しみましょう。
陰陽道をご覧あれ。
Can I use in this position? What?
現れたまえ。
Should he be moved back?
容赦はしません。風のように動く。この時のためパラディの力を見せてやるよ。
The good thing is that group of enemies wasn't necessarily powerful. Kind of able to get rid of them pretty fast.
あなたの恵み。
But I don't know what the other ones are gonna hold. So. Forest Fanatic Habit.
ニングコード。
Fork Rugs.
風のように動く。この時のため
Wow, 125.
あ
Nice.
の方の恵みを。ベトベトした夢、楽しみましょう。
I wonder why he couldn't pop the turtle.
もっとついてみなさい。
Probably based on the position. He needs to like be on the middle of the back row to be able to pop the
パラデ
turtle.
ィの力を見せてやるよ。
This is my guess.
する者には容赦はしませんが、
陰陽道をご覧あれ。現れたまえ。
Yeah. But that double stun is so good.
恵みを。
Being able to stun 2 enemies with 1 attack is kind of great. Man, she is just back there taking down everybody.
パラディの力
I take back what I said about that rogue. She's gotten really good.
邪魔する者には容赦はしません。私が
陰陽道をご覧あれ。現れたまえ。
Yeah, those birds were neat. I don't think I've ever seen them hit anything about 12.
あなたの恵み。
Alright, that's 2. And this
神よ、我々に勝利を。あなた
is
の
40.
恵みを。ベトベトした
Again, this is kind of my issue with this game. Enemies are kind of just repeated like over and over and over. And like, what is the point of having to fight 2 trash groups in a row that are the same when you could just like, I don't know, combine them into one like strong fight? You know?
陰陽道。
Give me 6 enemies in one fight instead of having me fight 4 in 2 separate fights. You know, it's like, it's not much of a challenge, but it just drags this game out. Like, if you get into a couple of battles back to back, it just
力を見せてやるよ。
feels like the game just comes into a screeching halt, and it's like, it feels
陰陽
boring.
道をご覧あれ。現れたまえ。
風のように動く。容赦はしません。パラディの力を見せているよ。
陰陽道をご覧など現れたまえ。
That ability is really, really weak.
もっと頑張らなきゃ。
I know it does like a bleed or something.
容赦はしません。さあ、こちらへ。パラディの力を見せているよ。
Yeah, and then that damn grub won't move. You just sit there all day, won't move, and I have to like wait until the
陰陽道を
priest
ご
gets a
覧
chance to
なれ。
attack. This guy,
たまえ。
he missed. Great.
ダメですよ。もっと頑張らなきゃ。邪魔するもの。
Finally, he moved up, and he's already dead.
ください。
Okay, defeat the followers and acquire 3 belongings to the town people. Where the hell are the followers? I assume that's a boss fight. Oh, there's another one.
教会へ行きたいですか？
Okay, this is a little different of a group of enemies.
邪魔する者には容赦はしません。私が戻っていきます。深い。
60. Alright.
そんなことでは感じられませんが、あの方の恵みは。
Go ahead and stun him.
見ましょう。
And we'll use... If he can't even do it, I'm not sure if he has enough stamina. It's 2 stuns.
陰陽道をご覧なれ。
Yeah, he doesn't have enough stamina. Or enough mana. He's gonna have to block. Wow, she missed. Oh, she got to attack twice and missed once.
こんなものが値に当たると思ったか？パラディの力を見せてやるよ。
陰陽道をご覧なれ。
Can I move him
仕方な。
and then do the turtle? See if that works.
レトロな視点で楽しみましょう。邪魔する者には容赦はしません。さあ、こちらへ。当たらない。
I've yet to be able to do a dual attack either. I don't have a combination of any of them being able to do a dual attack.
邪魔する者には容赦はしません。
I was supposed to hit for way harder.
陰陽道をご覧なれ。
Yeah, turtle, you need to have
はい。
middle row or back row, apparently. And then you pop the turtle will provoke,
あの方の恵み。
and then it becomes the default tank.
陰陽道の力を使えばお見通しじゃ。
パラディの力を見せてやるよ。
So whenever I do a next, like,
ついてみなさい。
formation change. That's basically what I gotta do.
陰陽道をご覧あれ。
I just keep spamming provoke. Okay. That's a damn good pet. Just keep provoking. Gotta wait until the priest gets to attack. I hate those monsters that don't move forward.
Dono 力をご覧に入れる。
もっとついてみなさいね。あの方の恵みを。
Like she's basically just sniping to the back row like the entire time. I don't even use her as a healer. She just constantly has to hit whatever the hell is in the back row. Probably should have stunned this guy, but she took him out. Yeah, the rogue, like I said before, the rogues are really, really powerful. But this one specifically doesn't have backstab. It sucks. Two of her abilities I'm not even using because they are setups to backstab to make it more powerful. I don't have backstab, so she just keeps doing like insane damage with that other ability. That's the escape right there. But I don't have the item that I need. Go to bag, looted seed. Wow, that thing just keeps guarding. Yeah, I should have stunned him. Damn. Wow.
する者には容赦はしません。
I still don't know what the hell I'm supposed to fight. If it's a boss or anything. No idea.
この時のため。
陰陽道をご覧あれ。
And I've seen nothing but
現れたまえ。
trash mobs this entire time.
あの方の恵みを。ベトベトした夢、楽しみましょう。パラディの力を見せてやるよ。ああ。あの方の恵みを。ベトベトした夢、楽しみましょう。パラディの力を見せてやるよ。ああ。
Yeah, this game definitely could use a speed up option for battles or I don't know if Darkest Dungeon has that, but it should. Like all these turn-based anything at this point should have some type of speed up option.
あの方の恵みを。ベトベトした夢、楽しみましょう。やってください。パラディの力を見せてやるよ。
So basically, if you have one of those
邪魔なんだよ。
if you have one of those guys, you don't need another tank because they'll act like the tank.
敵はどこかな。
Let me see here. I've gotten those vials. Oh, okay, they don't actually do anything. Not in here, they don't. They have luminosity, but I don't have like stamina stuff, so kind of hoping. I still don't have what I need. Wow, okay. I think I'm boned. 'Cause, yeah, I've explored everywhere. And I'm out of stamina. And now they're bleeding. Oh my god.
こう見えても昔は優秀な戦士だったんだよ。
Three belongings to the town people, and I don't have what I need. I don't.
聖女の慈愛をお見せします。
be a wipe, isn't it?
ありませんでしたね。
Why doesn't it tell you in the map where the hell you need to go? It just leaves you guessing, like, hey, check out the entire map. Figure it out. We don't know. It's like, wow, man, come on. So you can do like 90%, like really, really good. And then the last 100% just screws you over. Avoid anybody from dying. That's priority number 1. For a successful expedition. Okay, sure, if you say so. Accurate if crews on the sides. Oh, that's a passive. When fullness is at 50% or above, your hit success 10%. Okay, so every time they level up, they either get a new ability. The last time I believe for some of them was the team ups with other characters, or they get passives. Always rooted there. Your chance to escape always increases by 15%. Fragile after defeating. Luminosity is at 50% or above. Your defense decreases by 10, but when delivering the final blow to the opponent. Usage passive is at 40% or below. Decreases. That sounds like a bad thing. Or above. Your evasiveness decreases by 10% when you miss your target. I don't know if that's a good thing. Doesn't sound like it. Oh, because he's level 2 now, he got a... Okay, so it's probably like... so like you get a... level 2, you get an attack with a teammate. Level 3, you get a passive. Level 4, you get a bonus or an ability. That kind of stuff. It's set up in like a rotation. Okay. I got a lot of stuff in that run. I just didn't get the item that it said that I was apparently needed. I still don't know what that wheel means. And I didn't do the quest because it still says. Okay. Oh, that was weird.
いらっしゃい。どうも。いらっしゃい。どうも。いらっしゃい。これを鑑定すればいいんだよね。こんなもんかな。これを鑑定すればいいんだよね。こんなもんかな。どうも。いらっしゃい。
All right, well, we're gonna end it there for now. Yeah, so MISTOVER I think releases October 10th on the eShop and I think PlayStation and Steam and all of that. So definitely enjoying it. Definitely gonna play it a little bit more. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. And stay tuned for more Nintendo Switch gaming.